cardinal rule of any shooter is kill or be killed, and though the same is ultimately true of the free-to-play MechWarrior Online, there's so much more to think about beyond aiming and firing. The weight of your mech, how much heat it generates, the armor it's carrying, and weapon loadout are all equally important considerations that impact your performance. As such, MechWarrior Online is the kind of game where you're constantly learning as you tinker away in pursuit of the perfect metal monster.
All systems nominal.
Split into two parts, MechWarrior Online requires a balance between preparation and execution. Before jumping into battle, you can explore the Mech Lab where you purchase new mechs or customize existing ones. The freedom given with customization is incredibly generous, and it's surprising just how much you can fiddle with. Most interestingly, customization involves sacrifice, and it's impossible to build a mech that can handle every situation. Whether you're giving up firepower for speed or long-range capabilities for close-range vulnerability, virtually every choice benefits and impedes you at the same time. Want to equip two of the ridiculously powerful autocannons? You can, but expect them to severely weigh you down. This balancing act is managed with a slot and weight system. Everything you equip adds to your tonnage and takes up a certain number of slots. Typically, the heavier something is, the more slots it fills, and vice versa. It's a great system for customization that forces you to think how you'll mitigate your weaknesses rather than simply making the best mech. Of course, building what you want is a lot more involved than it sounds because of the game's free-to-play model. There are two ways to purchase things in MechWarrior Online: C-bills, which you earn by participating in matches, and MC, which you can only get by spending real money. Many mechs can be purchased with either currency, but several premium mechs are only available through MC. These mechs are very effective, and although you can eventually upgrade a C-bill mech to a premium level, it takes an exorbitant amount of time. It's one of MechWarrior's biggest problems, since you're stuck grinding for money or opening your wallet to get what you really want.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online.
The game's launcher does link to various YouTube videos that cover many important details, but it seems like a poor substitution for an in-game solution. Everything feels buried under too many menus, and the things that you want are hard to find. The most obvious windows are garish ads that advertise things like cosmetic upgrades or flashy new mechs. Outside of the customization and free-to-play frustrations, actually playing MechWarrior is generally enjoyable. You always have a role to fill, and knowing that role is imperative for success. If you're a light-footed mech, you should be scouting, capturing control points, or distracting enemies. Heavily armored mechs should position themselves to take the brunt of your team's damage and dish back as much as possible. Another consideration is heat, which you generate by firing weapons. Once your heat reaches 100%, your machine will shut down, leaving you a sitting duck. It's a lot to stay on top of, but the complexity increases the intensity of fights, knowing that even the smallest mistake can have huge consequences. The mechs also feel great to pilot. Whether you're lumbering around as a massive heavy mech or trying to manage the destructive power of an assault mech, each of the various classes are distinct. The weapons convey a sense of power. From the monstrous thud of an autocannon to the searing blast of a laser, the game convincingly brings the hulking bipedal vehicles to life. Despite the variety in mechs, repetition starts to sink in quickly. This is partly because there are only two game modes, Assault and Conquest. Assault is your typical team deathmatch, except you can also win by capturing the other team's base. In Conquest, victory is achieved by conquering 5 points or killing every opposing mech. With only two modes and no larger framework linking any of the battles together, you'll soon see most of what MechWarrior has to offer, and the pull of obtaining new things won't be enough to keep you playing.
Base 50%
MechWarrior Online is a smart game burdened by free-to-play annoyances and unfortunately lacking in things to do outside straightforward combat. The grind of match after match eventually erodes your enthusiasm as you start to wonder what it's all for. Considering MechWarrior has a rich history to draw from, it's hard not to feel like something's missing when you find yourself in an endless arena.
Warning, incoming missile.